What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Trackside Girls podcast, episode 10.
Oh,
Yes, episode 10 um, of season 3. We had three different overall series, but then all three of NASCAR's series were racing. So technically, we had five to go over. Um, Again, I was at a different track. I watched the truck race, and tiny bit of the Xfinity race, and I was not able. Did I watch the Cup race? Can I be honest? I don't remember.
well, not much happened.
I heard that it was a snooze fest. I did because I was looking at the NASCAR app. Um, so I did
Mhm.
indeed hear that because I was trying to embroider hats that didn't really work out as well as I wanted it to. But that's fine. I digress. I'm gonna work more on it. Um, so we're gonna go over those. Again, I didn't really because I was at a racetrack. I again did not really watch much of racing. Luckily, I got to watch a little bit of the Xfinity race on Saturday because one of the guys that we know has a TV set up in their trailer, so they had the Xfinity race playing. So. We're gonna go over these races. Hopefully, we can knock them out very quickly. Um, let's see.
On my wrist.
I will say I did get the truck winner right. I'm almost positive that I said Chandler Smith.
I think you did. I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure you did say Chandler Smith because you always anytime you're like, so you're not gonna like who I'm gonna pick, and I'm like, mm. And I think that's exactly what you
Probably.
said. You're like, you're not gonna like who I'm gonna pick, and I'm like, yo. So which one is
Um,
it gonna be?
it was very possible for Kyle Larson to sweep the weekend. Honestly, personally, I was hoping that he wouldn't, just because I I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm a fan of him outside of NASCAR. Like whenever he runs on dirt, love him. He's so talented, and I know that he can jump in any type of car, most likely, and be quick. Um, but it's irritating whenever he wins in NASCAR. So, so, um, we'll get on into his weekend a little later. But let's go over this truck race. I do believe their practice and qualifying got rained out. I think both Xfinity, um, I want to say Xfinity's practice and qualifying also got rained out because it was raining on um Friday because I remember the Xfinity cars going through tech in the rain.
Yes,
So,
I did not watch a single practice or qualifying from truck or Xfinity.
I'm almost positive it got rained out. Um,
It was say the only one
so
that did was Cup.
yeah. With that being said, because of the metric, it was Daniel Hemrick to inherit pole with Tyler Ankrum on the inside. The first caution for cause was lap 17. Connor Mozak spins for 19th in turn two after slight contact with Tanner Gray. Because of this caution, um, and if you don't have practice or qualifying, NASCAR implements what's called a competition caution. So basically, roughly about 20-25 laps into the race, they do an automatic caution, just so if you need to make any adjustments or anything like that, because you're basically going into the race blind, without practice or qualifying. You literally unload from the truck and then go into the race. Um, so they it was originally going to be on a lap 30, but because this caution came out, they went ahead and set this one as the competition caution. After the competition caution, it was Chandler Smith on the outside, Daniel Hemrick on the inside. On lap 53, Tamajeski makes contact with Frankie Muniz, entering turn three, causing Frankie to spin and collect Tamajeski, Stuart Friesen, and Brandon Jones into the outside wall. Um, Both Stuart Friesen and Brandon Jones were able to make it to pit road for repairs, but Frankie and Ty Majeski were like in the directions of nose to nose, but they were beside each other, so like it was driver window to driver window. Um, so people were making the joke that they could sit there and talk and yell at each other because they're sitting that close together. Ty Majeski did actually climb out of his truck when they were sitting this close, so he had to climb out of his truck and over the truck to get to get away from the wreck. Um,
They played Ty's radio though, and he was so mad.
yes, he was very upset.
He was so mad.
Um,
I was like,
which,
bro.
to be fair, Frankie Muniz was a lap down car, or sorry, truck. Um, and it looked like that Frankie was going to go to the bottom, so Ty Majeski went up, and then Frankie decided last minute that he was going to go up, and Ty was already in the back of him and turned Frankie, so it was a whole ordeal. Um, but they got restarted again. Still Chandler Smith leading Tyler Ankrum this time on the inside. And they were right there at the stage caution, so it ended up being Chandler Smith to win stage one, Ben Rhodes in second, Tyler Ankrum third, Lane Riggs fourth, and Daniel Hemrick fifth. Um, the restart again, Chandler Smith leading Ben Rhodes on the inside. Right after this restart, Raja Kruth spins from ninth after contact with Caden Honeycutt down the front stretch. The restart, Chandler Smith leading on the outside, Ben Rhodes on the inside. And it is Bailey Curry to win stage two. Chandler Smith second, Caden Honeycutt third, Corey Heim fourth, and Tanner Gray fifth. And this was the first stage win for Bailey Curry. On the restart, it's Raja Karuth leading on the outside and Bailey Curry on the inside. Caution at lap 160 for Tony Breidinger spinning and backs into the turn two wall from 20th after contact with Stuart Friesen. Restart again, Raja Karuth on the outside, Bailey Curry on the inside. And they have to pull out the caution for weather. So it was very, very light rain at first. Like you could only see it if the light hit the windows of the trucks, a certain direction. So they had to bring out the caution for that. So they were logging a couple laps, um, just to see if it would stop. Um, And under this caution, unfortunately, Bailey Curry has to pit with a transmission issue and goes behind the wall. So which is crazy because he ended up winning stage two and he was doing so well. Unfortunately, he had problems. But on this restart, it was 6 laps to the end when they got going again. Chandler Smith leading on the outside, Corey Heim this time on the inside. And it was Chandler Smith to win by 0.0934 seconds over Kyle Larson, followed by Corey Heim, Tyler Ankrum, and Ben Rhodes. So, another one to the stack of winners. For Kyle Larson's second race of the weekend, the Xfinity race, um, let's see, Parker Retzloff, Christian Eckes and Mason Maggio to the rear for unapproved adjustments. In qualifying, Taylor Tomasi and Mason Maggio did not make a qualifying lap due to practice or damage from a practice crash. And then because Taylor Tomasi was in a car that is not already in on points, he failed to qualify. Um, And the incident in practice, he made contact with the wall and slowed on track before heading back to pit road. And Maggio's incident made contact with the turn four wall after losing a right front tire. But it was Kyle Larson to get pole, and he's leading the field to green. Connor Zilic on the inside. There you go. Connor Zilic was one of my picks for the Xfinity race. Okay, what did I tell you? He's fast. He started on the front row. But it immediately off the rip, lap three, Harrison Burton slows from 11th with a flat tire. Mason Maggio also slows entering the garage after hitting the wall. On the restart, again, same front row. And this is a big one. I saw the replay and I was like, oh my God. So lap 76, Sheldon Creed gets spun off of turn four with contact
Oh,
from Dean
yeah.
Thompson. And as the cars are flying by him, Brennan Poole clips him. It rips off the entire side of Brennan Poole's car. Like, spins Sheldon Creed's car like two times. Like, it was heavy. And if you haven't seen the photos of Brennan Poole's car, it was demolished. Like, the entire right side, the rear end, like, the back of the left side, like, gone. Like, it was rough. And then Sheldon's wasn't much better. Um, it kind of felt like a trend because we're going to mention something else that happened a little further in the race. Um, that it was almost as if, like, I don't know if it was a spotter issue that spotters weren't telling drivers to slow up coming out of turn four, or
No idea.
like what was going on, because we're going to talk about another incident a little further into the race that involves similar situations. But it was red flagged for the cleanup, and the red flag lasted 14 minutes and 7 seconds. Um, they got going again. This time, Sam Mayer leading with Ryan Sieg on the inside. Sam Mayer ends up winning stage one with Ryan Sieg in second, Kyle Larson third, Sammy Smith fourth, and Justin Allgaier fifth. They get going again. This time, Kyle Larson leading, Sammy Smith on the inside. On lap 107, Harrison Burton slows and enters the pit with another flat tire. Um, After the restart, they go green all the way to the end of the stage, with Kyle Larson winning stage two, Justin Allgaier second, Sammy Smith third, Carson Kvapil fourth, and Connor Zilisch fifth. On the restart, it is Kyle Larson on the outside, Justin Allgaier on the inside. Lap 212, Mason Massey spins down the front stretch after. Um, Actually, this is it. This is the issue. Okay, so here it starts. Mason Massey spins down the front stretch after contact with Justin Allgaier. Okay? The field slows to take the yellow. William Sawalich, bam, into the back of Connor Zilic. No brakes. Straight into the back of him. Where was his spotter going? Check up, check up, check up, check up. Slow down, slow
This
down,
is
slow down, slow down. Like,
well,
it
I
literally,
almost
watching that replay, watching his in-car camera, he literally 2 seconds before he hit Connor's car, he's like, "Oh my God, like maybe I should hit the brakes."
I almost wonder if there wasn't like fluid or something on the track the way that he
Like
did that. Unless, well, I mean, I don't even know. I was like, what the heck?
but because of
I was
that,
like,
it ruined his race. He had to retire from that.
yeah.
Um, so that was the two incidents that were like, bro, spotters, hello?
Sometimes the Xfinity spotters, I'm like, where the heck are you? They're like in a whole nother land.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Xfinity spotters not even spotting their cars, and then an accident happens, and they're like, Oh, I didn't know that was you that was in the accident.
It's
I
yeah,
wasn't paying
it's rough.
attention. I'm like, bro. I'm like, pay
But
attention.
Kyle Larson leading on the outside, Justin Allgaier on the inside. And luckily, it was green until the end. Kyle Larson winning by 2.054 seconds over Carson Kvapil.
Ugh.
On to, spoiler alert, Kyle Larson's second win of the weekend. Um,
Bro, I was falling asleep during this race because it was such a snooze fest.
I heard
It
that
was
it was bad.
it was so boring. Like
There was
nothing really
one
happened.
caution for cause. The rest were stage cautions.
Yeah,
And
it was so boring. I was falling asleep.
so,
But that's nothing new.
to the rear for unapproved adjustments was Joey Logano and John Hunter Nemechek. And qualifying, Kyle Busch spins on his second qualifying lap. Joey Logano makes contact with the wall off of turn two with the right rear, but continues. But it was Alex Bowman who got pole with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the inside.
Okay, I don't care about that, but Alex, let's go.
And again, um, like I said, it was green until the end of stage one, while Kyle Larson won. Denny Hamlin second, Justin Haley third, Alex Bowman fourth, and Carson Hocevar fifth. This stage one has never went caution free at Bristol. This is the first time ever.
That's kind of wild though.
Um, And with Kyle Larson winning that stage, it marked 65 career stage wins for Kyle Larson, just one behind Martin Truex Jr. for 66 for most all time. So he's about to beat that record. On the restart, it is Kyle Larson on the outside, Denny Hamlin on the inside. The first and only caution for cause. Lap 178, Shane Van Gisbergen and Cody Ware both spin in turn two, battling for 35th. Um, I do believe Sheldon, or not Sheldon, gosh, Shane does retire from the race further along. Um,
Yes, he does.
but they get going again. Kyle Larson again on the outside, Denny Hamlin on the inside. After Justin Haley chooses to restart behind Kyle Larson. It is green, obviously, until the end of stage two, where Kyle Larson wins stage two, meaning he ties Martin Truex with that 66 career stage wins. Restart, Kyle Larson on the outside, Alex Bowman on the inside. And Kyle Larson led 234 laps, which moved him into the top 10 most career laps led at Bristol. And it is they do green flag pit stops, but it is green until the end. Lap 500, Kyle Larson wins by 2.25 seconds over Denny Hamlin.
I will say the the one of the cautions was because of Blaney because he blew up. But that was during commercial break.
I'll say it didn't say another caution. It must have been during those green flag pit stops.
Uh maybe I don't know if it was a caution, but I know Blaney retired from the race because his engine blew up.
Another engine.
But it happened during caution. It happened during commercial break because I got Bob's tweet first. And then they came back and on the side screen all it said was Blaney was out.
So that means they didn't throw a caution for it. It just happened. And he got off the racetrack quick enough.
Yeah. And then they showed the replay. And yeah, you can tell his engine blew because it puffed up in smoke. very quickly. It was it was kind of sad to watch though. Oh
Um,
god.
so IndyCar also ran um, at Long Beach this past weekend. So we're gonna go through the fastest in those sessions. In practice one, Willpower was fastest with Marcus Ericsson in second and Kyle Kirkwood in third. In practice two, Nolan Siegel was fastest, Colton Herta second, and Louis Foster in third. Um, in group one of qualifying that moved on to the top 12, Christian Lundgaard, Colton Herta, Felix Rosenqvist, Pato O'Ward, Marcus Armstrong, and David Malukas. In group two that moved on was Kyle Kirkwood, Alex Palou, Scott McLaughlin, Nolan Siegel, Marcus Ericsson, and Alexander Rossi. The ones that moved on to the Firestone Fast Six was Kyle Kirkwood, Colton Herta, Alex Palou, Marcus Ericsson, Scott McLaughlin, and Felix Rosenqvist. But the one to get pole was Kyle Kirkwood. Everybody, I'm pretty okay. No, he's from Florida. Never mind. He's from I think Jupiter, Florida. I was about to say I thought he was a hometown boy, but um, in the warm-up on race day, it was Graham Rahal to be fastest, Joseph Newgarden second, and Armstrong in third. For the race, Kyle Kirkwood actually won the race. Led 46 of the 90 laps. Um, Alex Palou came in second, and Christian Lundgaard in third, who um led 26 of those laps. With Kyle getting pole, it was actually an Andretti front row because Colton Herta got second of that. Um so we also have Formula One to go over. They were in Bahrain. Um for practice one, it was Lando Norris fastest, Pierre Gasly second fastest, and Lewis Hamilton third fastest. I do believe um there were a couple of rookies in this section. Felipe Drugovich was in the Aston Martin. Dino, but oh gosh, I always mess up his name. I always flip two letters. Is it Beg Beganovic? It's because I always get the N and the G flopped, swapped, whatever. So, but it's
That's all you
Dino. Like
that's all you
I know him by Dino, but it does look like he was in the Ferrari.
oh the
Um,
finale.
there Frederick Vesti was in a Mercedes. Um, there were quite a bit. Like Iwasawa, I think that's his name, was it looks like I want to say he was in the Visa Cash App RB. Or no, he was in a Red Bull. Sorry, he was in a Red Bull. For FP1. So there were a lot of
Rookies.
rookies in that session. In
Rookie.
practice two, um. Oscar Piastri was fastest with Lando Norris in second and George Russell in third. A rough one for Yuki Tsunoda. He was like 17th fastest. Um, practice three was almost identical, except for it was Charles Leclerc in third. So Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, both ahead of the Ferrari. For qualifying, out in um Q1 was Oliver Behrman. Um, Lance Stroll, Gabrielle, Liam Lawson, Nico Hulkenberg. I don't know what this means. It has not next to Alex Albon's name, so I don't know if he just didn't go out, um, or what. But he was in 15th. Esteban Ocon had a DNF, so he falled into 14th. Um, Fernando Alonso, Isaac Hadjar, and Jack Doohan rounded out Q2. Yuki Tsunoda in third, Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. I lied. Um, Lewis Hamilton in ninth, Carlos Sainz eighth, Max Verstappen seventh, Lando Norris sixth, Pierre Gasly and the Alpine in fifth, Kimi
What?
Antonelli, yeah, Kimi Antonelli in fourth, Charles Leclerc in third, George Russell in second, and it was Oscar Piastri to get pole. I do believe there was quite a few disqualifications for the race. But Oscar Piastri got the fastest lap. Again, fastest pit stop for Ferrari, and driver of the day ended up being Lewis Hamilton. Um, so Nico Hulkenberg got disqualified from the race. I believe I have a notification of what that was for, but I'll read that in a second. Carlos Sainz did not finish the race. Um, But for the podium, it was Lando Norris in third, George Russell in second. Bro, were those my picks backwards? I think I did Lando and George. I think I picked them backwards.
I think you did.
Dang it. Um, but it ended up being Oscar Piastri to get the win in Bahrain.
I picked Oscar.
Oh yeah, you did.
I picked Oscar. I didn't, not gonna lie, I actually don't know who won because I just apparently I don't see any F1 stuff anymore. I used to all the time. And now I
Yeah.
see absolutely nothing. So I'm like it's a surprise to me whoever wins at this point now. Cause then you're
And
like, "Oh, so and so won." And I'm
so
like, did I pick them? I know I
I w
picked Oscar though, cuz I went the opposite of you.
yes. I
Cuz I
want to
think I did
say
Oscar and I think I did Oscar and Lewis. I'm pretty sure. Pretty positive.
I thought there was more going on in there, but it's fine. It's fine. But that rounded out the Bahrain weekend. So F1 is in Saudi this weekend, Saudi Arabia, um in Jeddah. The NASCAR Cup Series has the week off for once. And it is only Xfinity and trucks running Rockingham. This is the first time they're back. I want to say trucks. This is the first time that they ran the track since 2013. I'm not too sure about Xfinity, um, but those guys are running, and then
You wanna know what the sad thing is? Is that half of the people in truck and half the people in Xfinity weren't even born when they were racing there.
no, because if
So
like
okay,
they would have
some
to
of
be 11,
some of
so
them.
it was a no, actually, well, almost 12 years ago.
Yeah, well, half of them
So
were like children.
yes, they were. I mean, to be fair, they were probably already starting their racing career because like you have to start early to get up to where like let's say the majority of them were probably already in carts.
Well, that's probably true, yeah.
But IndyCar is off until the first weekend in May, um, whenever they go to Barber. So It'll be a couple weeks off for them. Um, so let's go ahead and pick for Saudi real quick. Um, again, I want to say these are more like medium to high speed corners, other than the two hairpins. Um, there's like a couple, there's maybe like two other turns that um, aren't heavy, fast corners. Um, ooh, you know, I'm gonna say an Oscar this time
Oh,
because every time I've picked Lando, it's been Oscar. So maybe, maybe that's my jinx this year. Like, I just gotta pick
well,
opposites.
for that, I'm gonna switch you, and I'm gonna take Lando.
Okay. Um, gosh, he's got a fast car. I'm
You
gonna.
know, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna say Charles.
You rat. I was thinking that one.
I get
Mhm.
called that. You rat. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
I want to see pretty. Okay, I don't know if he's gonna make a podium, but he
Mm.
did run really well, which is surprising me these past couple races. I'm gonna try Pierre Gasly.
You know, I feel like that's not a bad
I
guess,
I
actually.
I don't know how much speed the Alpine has, but he's going. He most likely won't end up on the podium, but he's got some major speed, so it's it's very, what's the word? Not necessarily surprising, but like I feel like that's a good thing for them, you know? Um,
Yeah.
scoring in the points like most of the time, so far this season. So on to trucks. Again, I think maybe one person in the field um has raced at Rockingham in trucks. Um, but 98% of them, maybe even 99% of them, have never ran at Rockingham. Um, again, because they're a bunch of young kids. Like,
They're children. They're literal
yeah,
children.
like I want to say if it's less than a mile and a half, I'm pretty sure you can be 16 and race trucks. As soon as you get to a mile and a half, I think you have to be at least 17. And then if you want to run the super speedways, you have to be 18.
I was gonna say I know super speedways are 18. And then, because they can run ARCA what when they're like 15, 16,
I
14?
think so. I think so they can't run super speedways. Um,
No.
but I do believe that they can run the smaller tracks. Like I know somebody who tested um an ARCA car at Daytona and got um approved for the entirety of ARCA, and up to a mile and a quarter, I think, in trucks, all because of a test at Daytona. Um, but he was over 21, so like it didn't really necessarily affect him on the like age side of things. But that's how easy it is to get approved. So um I don't know if Arc is anywhere this week actually. Um I want to say Arc is going to be in Talladega though. I want to say it's oh no, it's I was thinking about Kansas. Arc is going to be in Kansas. That's what it is.
ARCA always runs Kansas. Always.
But so for trucks, this is going to be a complete wild card. Again, like we don't know.
Love it.
Um, Xfinity did the test there. I don't believe trucks did. Um, Ooh, I think just like throwing a random one out there.
I know, I feel like it's you just gotta like throw out like
Like,
whoever.
let me see if there is. So it's Brandon Jones in the one, for Rockingham, and Norm Benning in the sixth.
If you're going to
Um,
Rockingham, Carson's gonna be there because apparently he's gonna be in the booth for the truck race.
nope. I mean, I'll be there. But Cody
Well,
Dennison is going to be in the 22.
Carsey Boy will be there. Oh,
Oh, Parker Kligerman is running the 75. Oh my God. Okay. You
no,
know, that
stop,
just,
because I miss Parker. I'm gonna cry right now because I'm so sad you get to see Parker. I love
bro,
Parker.
who knows? He might run Kansas.
I hope so.
Who knows?
I want to see Parker. I love Parker.
Um, and again, Justin Carroll is on the entry list. So, um, hmm, I'm thinking short track racers. What are we? I don't think Rockingham is necessarily a short track. Let's see, what is it? Let's see. Yeah, it's a little over a mile and a half. So I think, oh, technically, actually, they do call it a short track. Sorry, it is not an intermediate track. Ooh. Hmm. What do we think?
I don't know.
Um, Corey Day is in the 7, Sammy Smith in the
Oh,
'07. This would have been a good race for Butterbean, Brendan Queen. I feel like because he did really well at North Wilkesboro. It's just like same vibe, you know. So with that being said, I'm gonna say Corey Heim.
okay, let's go. You can go ahead and take him, I guess.
Listen,
Damn.
oh, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say another Lane Riggs because he
Okay,
like he also did really well at Wilkesboro.
let's see here. Now, decision time. Um,
I should not have done that because literally North Wilkesboro is like a mile smaller. It's fine. It's fine.
oh,
Bro, the North Wilkesboro truck race is on my birthday.
I know. Normally, North Wilkesboro is always on your birthday.
Yeah, it's always that weekend.
Let's see here. Decisions. Frick. You know what? I'm gonna go. No idea. I'm gonna say Tanner. Well,
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see how he does. You know what? I'm just gonna, throw Parker out there as my long shot because why not? We'll see what
Fair.
Parker can do.
Fair.
See what he can do.
All right.
Woof, woof, woof.
For Xfinity, Patrick Emmerling is going to be in the '07. Justin Bonsignor in the 19. Catherine Legg is going to be in the 32. Casey Kane in the 33.
Casey!
I'm so excited. Um, Greg Van Alst in the 35. V Vis Vicente Salas. I don't know exactly how to say that name. In the 45. The 53 is to be announced. It is Thomas Annunziata taking over the 70 for Rockingham. Dawson Cram in the 74. Jordan Anderson Racing are putting in a fourth entry under the 87 for Austin Green.
Ugh, awesome. Okay, cool.
And then it is Josh Bilicki in the 91. Um, ooh. So I would think, okay, they call this a short track. Hold on. I want to look to see what the size of Richmond is.
Bruh.
'Cause I'm just curious. Or did they already go to Richmond this year? Oh no, wait,
How'd they go to
Xfinity doesn't go to Richmond. Hold on, that's why. Let's see, I'm just curious about the track info. Oh no, Richmond is smaller. Richmond is smaller than Rockingham. Okay, what about Dover? How big is Dover?
Sid, you're like over there, you're like, what, where?
I'm just
How?
curious. Like, no, Dover's still half a mile smaller. Good Lord, Rockingham is so much bigger than I thought it was.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
like Rockingham is bigger than Atlanta, is what it's saying.
What?
It says so Atlanta is 1.554 miles, and then Rockingham, under the track info, it says 1.60 miles. What? Hold on. No,
That's,
that like baffles me. But they call
yeah,
it a
what the
short
heck?
track? They call it a short track, but it's the size of Atlanta. Technically bigger than Atlanta. What?
I'm trying to process this information. I'm like over here loading. I'm like, huh?
I may have screwed up my truck picks on that. Bro. Okay. Um, I'm trying to think. Like, I'm pretty sure Justin Allgaier did the test, so I know he's probably gonna get a hang of it already.
Honestly, I have no idea. No idea.
Bro, I would probably genuinely cry if Casey Kane actually won. Then that means I actually witnessed one of his wins.
Oh
I'm I'm gonna attempt a Connor Zilic.
oh, okay.
So I'm gonna say Justin and Connor.
I mean, Junior Motorsports because yeah. Y-
I mean,
yeah,
really Connor just in general because like there's he's he's just already has so much on his like racing resume. It's insane. And he's like what, 19 now?
he's a child.
Like
That's how old he is. A child.
yeah, I don't even think he's turned 19 yet. Let me see. We're gonna look this up.
No, I'm pretty sure he is. He's nine. I'm pretty sure he is 19. There ain't no way he's 18.
I think he
I'm pretty sure he's
just
19.
turned.
He might have just turned
He hasn't
19.
yeah, he hasn't even turned 19 yet. His birthday isn't until July 22nd.
Oh,
So he is still 18.
okay. Well, it's okay. He's 18. That's fine. I thought he was already 19.
Mm-mm.
Apparently not. Okay, that's cool. Now I gotta do my picks, and I have no freaking clue.
I have to check
Hmm.
the list of shops and dining at the Kansas City airport on my browser.
You know what? I'm gonna take the other two German motorsports, and I'm gonna go Carson Kvapil and Sammy Smith.
Okay. Valid. That works.
Because I mean, Carson's also pretty good too.
That is true. He
Carson is
like
pretty good. I mean, hello, when he almost won his very first debut when he got in the junior motorsports car.
that is true. What track
So,
was that?
could not remember.
It was a short track or shorter track. I mean,
Was it Bristol? No.
I don't think it was Bristol. I don't think it was
No,
that
it
short of
wasn't.
a track.
What?
I want to say it was like I want to say it was like Dover, not Dover, but like it gave off that vibe.
Yeah,
You
I
know, we
don't
could
know.
literally like actually look this up. Hold on.
We
Brief
could.
intermission.
If we were smart, we would, but sometimes, Sid, you and I are not the brightest. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Sometimes we are.
It was. Oh, it was in Martinsville. And yeah, in February of last year, it was Martinsville. Oh, sorry, it was announced. It was announced in February.
Yeah, I was like, there ain't no way because I would have been at that race last year.
Oh, I lied. I lied. So, wait, hold on. I'm confused. Maybe it was Bristol
I'm
because it
pretty sure it
said
was.
because he finished second, but somebody
I'm pretty
else.
sure.
Oh, the first Bristol Xfinity race. Sorry, it was Martinsville. I lied. He finished fourth at Martinsville.
I was like, if it was Martinsville, we would have been there.
It, yeah, we were there. It was that freezing cold race, was it not?
Oh, was it?
No, no, no,
No.
no, because that was a year that was a year later. Um, that was
I'm, I'm so confused right now. Ow.
was that the race that um no that because that wasn't the race that the kid was getting all those hats. Who
I
won
don't know.
that
That sounds
race?
about, what, last year?
The first.
Wait, I can, hang on, brief pause. I can tell you. I
We
have
literally
it.
went over this whenever we did our picks.
We always do, but okay. Last year, remember, it was Amarola because Sam was gonna win and Amarola wrecked Sam.
Oh, that was
That big,
that
because
was
that big accident
whenever
happened.
somebody asked Almirola for his hat and he like was just the biggest like
Yeah, because Amarola won because he wrecked Sam and then Sam got into Riley and that was a whole thing.
actually I think I remember that race. That was when I did the bracelets, right? Was that last year?
Did you
Was
do them at Martinsville? I know you
it
did them at
I know
Atlanta.
I know I did it at Martinsville. I did the bracelets at Martinsville, but I can't remember if it was the fall or spring race.
It was the fall race, I think.
Let me see. I made a TikTok about it. Let me see.
I don't know. You're really asking me to remember things from last year, and I don't remember things from last year.
No, I didn't.
Or I
I did
should.
it. I did it at the spring race.
Oh, I
Yeah.
feel like I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, no, I remember that because I think that was the race that Jeb Burton got wrecked. Because I think I think I want to say that was the race that Blaine was running really well, and they got caught up in that wreck that was on the front stretch. It's like he would have had a top 10, but all those cars piled up on the front stretch.
Yes, because we talked to him after the race was over. Right, right. Okay,
Yep.
memories come back. I remember. Yep. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was. But yeah, I think okay. Sorry, that whole thing was about Connor or Carson Quapple. It's we were trying to figure out when Carson's Xfinity debut was,
Yeah, no kidding.
but
That's if everybody wants to know what goes on inside of our brains. It's this because we totally jump off what we were talking about and completely go to something different. And we're like, "Do you remember that one time?" And I'm like, "No, remind me," because I don't remember.
but yeah, we do
It's
that a
kind of
lot.
funny though. We do,
Um,
but it's okay because we have a lot of memories together. So we're like, "Do you remember that once?" No, I don't.
but so I think that's it. We did our NASCAR and Formula One picks. So I think that's it for this week.
I think it is.
So. All right, let's get out of here. Let's do this outro. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. However you enjoy our lovely podcast, this has been episode 10 of season 3 of the Trackside Girls podcast. And we're gonna do this outro. So it goes peace, love, and race cars.
I panic every time.
All right, good night, everybody.
Peace out.